talk about point spreads and everything before the game, but you must be happy to just walk back with me.
Look, absolutely. That's been our mentality. That's what I preach. If you go out and win games, all of a sudden you don't have to worry about talking about that stuff, and it becomes a non-factor.
Let's go to the side for a little bit. Mike has just compared Bryce to Michael Jordan as far as the NBL is concerned. You'll hear it over the next week. And then a reaction without having heard what he said is if he brings something absolutely unique to the league, just talk about it for 5 minutes about how good he is. Reaction to that?
Yeah. Well, what I would say is Bryce Cotton is Bryce Cotton, and he's trying to be the best of himself. And as I talk about all the time, the dedication, the way he applies it every day, that's what allows him to have the success that he has. And then as I told my assistants tonight, coaches, when someone gets in a zone like that, you need to stay out of the way. So when I feel that and the way he's playing, I just sit there and watch and admire, because as Mike must have touched on, there's only so many chances and opportunities you get to see someone perform at that level. He's produced 5, 6 of those types of performances in 1 year. Pretty special.
Just back to tonight's games, I'm sure Craig will get asked some questions about Bryce. Some big stats put up, not just Bryce, there was 4 or 5 there that got really good stuff.
Yeah.
Ty plays 15 minutes, he's +9.
Yep.
To win, does the margin bother you, just defensively? Are you annoyed tonight that they got over 100? Like they're a good side, but are you annoyed tonight?
No, I talked at halftime about the way we played in the first half, like the free throws, the layups. We had 4 turnovers in transition. So then all of a sudden that puts like pressure on your defense with who we are to come up with stops. Like we inflicted the wounds in the first half ourselves. So the only way you can fix that is taking care of the ball. And then all of a sudden I think we missed 1 free throw in the second half. We control the glass. We turned the ball over 4 times total. So those are the things that I look at and use as indicators for how we're playing and what's causing us to play that way. And look, the flow of the game, that dictates the score. It's not whether we're playing good or bad defense, but the second half, the flow of the game was like to our advantage, so that I was happy with the way we went about it.
Composure-wise, you 12 down during the third, everyone in the building knows that a loss is a ladder position, and similar to finals, a loss, there's a general result.
Yep.
After this game. How important was it from a preparation point to experience that now and be able to get back out and win what's a really important game, a genuine result?
What I would say with good growth with this team is when we get in a timeout, their collective voice about how they're going to solve what's going on. I forget which recent game it was. We did not start flash in the fourth quarter and we were down double digits. Tonight you talk about that. So the resolve and the togetherness that this team has shown towards the tail end of the regular season is very good confidence building for us moving towards the playoffs.
Right, so great to say Mike Walsh mentioned your name and Michael Jordan in the same sentence before. It wasn't taken with Mickey or it didn't say accidentally. He was absolutely pumped you up. What's it like to hear that being said about Mike?
I mean, yeah, it's pretty cool. Shout out to Mike. I go out there, I play the game from my heart, like I have ever since I was a kid, and it's good to be respected by your peers and the coaches you play against.
Start of the last quarter, like you did, I think it was in the first 5 minutes of the quarter. What were you setting yourself for at the start of the last quarter to come in and make that sort of impact?
What was I, what?
What were you setting yourself for to make that sort of impact? Like you looked as it's locked in as you get this team back where we need to be.
Just competitive. I just looked angry because I was, and I just understood the urgency of what this game meant, and I felt there's been a few times throughout the season we fought to put ourselves in good position, and we may have dropped the ball in games following, and just didn't want that to be a repeat.
Did Andres say something here before the game? It looked like a bit of a conversation that got you going before it even started.
No, just light banter. So we go back from the Big East, so it's just Big East talk.
John, before I touched briefly about the stats and some of your players, the form of your squad and the health of your squad heading into the playoffs, there were big stats. There were 2 double-doubles. Christian played with fouls against Montrez and kept him. He looked like he was going to blow the game apart. Montrez to start with. Ends up with 9 assists. Again, we talked about Ty. Some big stats. You head into the finals in good form, don't you?
Well, guys are back. Guys are healthy. We understand how to utilize each other's strengths at both ends of the floor. And, for part of the season that was disruptive, like KP, you talk about Ty. Dylan was a little disruptive when he initially got here, and for him to figure out the league, and for us how to utilize his skill set, because he's a tremendous all-round player. And then for someone like Doolittle to continuously slot in with those guys as well. But we can't get too excited, too ahead of ourselves. We have to have a purpose and an intent with the way we play, so we can continue to talk about the team in this fashion.
How do you feel going finals for us from a team perspective? Where do you reckon this team is compared to other, last year's
I mean, no need to compare from last year, but I think going into these playoffs, I'm happy that everybody's healthy. I think that's huge for us. We didn't play a whole lot of games where we were at full strength, so I guess this is as good a time as any to have a healthy team. So I'm feeling pretty happy about that.
And the MVP in a couple of days' time, I just think have you considered what it would mean to add a fifth?
Not too much. I never count my chickens before they hatch, but it's an honor to be in this conversation again. And like I said a couple days ago, I feel me and Kendrick have had historic seasons together, and I think some of the numbers we've put up, the NBL hasn't seen this in the 40-minute era in a long time, and I think with us competing, it's been great. And I've been on record before saying this is the most talented era the league's ever seen. So I always thrive competing against the league's best.
Just the margin is going to come into it tomorrow between Melbourne and Southland. Would you believe Dylan's holding on to the ball as the clock ran down and didn't look like he was going to take a shot?
He made a great decision.
Watching Ben Henshaw from the start of the year now, it feels like 2 very different players, and the leash is kind of getting looser and looser from him. What have you seen from him, growth-wise, over the course of the year?
The growth, I think it really starts off the court with him understanding what it really takes to be successful throughout the week before the game comes around. So when he gets to see BC every day, Wagstaff is doing a great job of mentoring him with life. So then all of a sudden, when you have consistency in your life, you get consistency in your play, and that's what you're seeing from him. And as I've spoken the last couple of weeks about, it's tremendous the trust these guys have in each other in the big moments. Again tonight, we get a great paint touch, we kick it out to a wide open Henschel, and that to me is when each team has trust in each other at that level. That's when we are building something. And I come back to the way we talk in timeouts and guys very engaged. He's in an environment where he's trusted, and I think he feels like he can play and display himself the way he wants to. We've already talked about your tie.
Okay, now you can go, Josh, after Ty's got his question.
Always good to have Ty around. But John, it looks like you're really starting to fine up that rotation over the last couple of weeks as we head into the playoffs. You had a 9-man rotation tonight, but a few of the guys only really saw 4 or 5 minutes on the court. Is this positive signs for yourself where you're really starting to find that balance between your starters and obviously your bench players as well?
Look, the season the playing group has handled tremendously. We touched on the injuries that we had throughout the year, so guys have really made the most of their opportunity. We have our full roster right now. We've had it for the last 3 games, so we needed to try and get some rhythm, momentum, some rotation type of stuff figured out. So that's what you've seen over the last 3 games. So it's nice to have everyone healthy and available.
Bryce, what's the feeling like around the group? A few weeks ago, obviously, there was a disappointing loss to the Cairns Taipans, but since then, you've knocked off 3 contenders and 3 teams who you could potentially face in the playoffs. Is everyone getting pretty excited now as you get down to the business end of the season?
I mean, yeah, I feel like it just kind of shows how good we can be or how okay we can be depending on which team shows up. So that's something we have to keep in mind. But I think we rebounded from those last 2 games with the Cairns and Melbourne pretty well to finish the season. And, it was great, but we got a whole new season now that it's playoffs, so we got to flush it. But the side note is, like I said, we're coming into it healthy, so that gives us our best chance to do whatever we're going to do.
Got the job done, obviously, tonight, John, and it really secures the fact that you'll either finish second or third on the ladder. What's that like, obviously, with the chance of you playing that first game at RSC Arena, potentially as the second seed and having nearly a month off, or maybe vacating to Challenger Stadium?
Look, it's more about how we're playing as a group, how different individuals are playing, versus, like, the seeding will take care of itself. And we end up where we end up, and we'll end up where we deserve to end up. And then we just have to embrace what lies ahead from that.
Great game, guys, and good luck for the rest of the season.
Thank you. Cheers.